All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. I literally have one of my best friends, I tell you, Martin Glynn, the DIY expert from Portumna. Hello, and welcome to the show.
I'm not actually Portumna, I'm a blow-in here, so you're going to get me shot already in the first sentence. I'm actually Kiltormer out the road, but we'll take Portumna.
Too right, yeah, Galway a boo. I suppose, Martin, I literally brought you on, firstly, to have a great chat with you about all things, I suppose, DIY, and you to tell the listeners a little bit about what you do, because we're similar, maybe in humor and several other different things, but we're practical doers and we have skills that we pass on to other people. And I suppose just let the listeners know a little bit what you do, where you're based, and we can get going from there.
Yeah, so we set up the DIY Academy over 2 years ago now. Since we started, I met up with Brenda. We kind of got the idea into fruition. So I started it off in my head during lockdown. I seen that a lot of men were kind of struggling with the time they had to themselves, and I found lockdowns brilliant. I had all this time to do all these little bits around the place that I was putting on the long finger. So I kind of paired it back to, well, how are these lads that are struggling so bad with this time off? So I just said, look, if they knew these few bits, at least it'd be something for them to do, because we didn't know how long this was going to go on at the time. We thought we could be locked down forever, but yeah, so then we just said we kind of did up a 6-week DIY course for people to attend once the lockdowns were finished, and it took us a bit of time to kind of get it started. But look, it was all worth it just to get it right and where we wanted it to be. And yeah, since then we've been doing them over a year now, and it's been great. We've done workshops with you, and we're all over the place at this stage.
International, nearly, the fellow says.
International now after this all.
Martin, but what? I'm going to say your background in it. How did you get into it day one, or tell me more about that?
Yeah, I went straight from school into carpentry. So it was around '98 when the first boom was kicking off, and I wasn't a big great student in school. I was okay, you know what I mean, middle of the road.
Don't lie to me, you were the worst student ever.
I just hear all my teachers' eyes rolling now, kind of going, he absolutely broke our heart. But my dad was a very practical man. He was a guard. He wasn't a tradesman, but he was very, very practical in what he did. He always kind of took on all this stuff himself and chanced his arm small a lot of the time. So it was something that I always enjoyed. And so when I got the opportunity to go into carpentry straight from school, I took it, and yeah, got to travel all over the world with it. And yeah, then it's a great, like, all the trades are great to be in. They probably get a bad name sometimes, but just the bit is I couldn't be happier, to be honest, that I went that road.
What do you see the people, I suppose, majorly learn from coming to like any of your courses or different events that you do, or even that online one?
Well, the problem is that people are so, like, as I was saying, like, my dad would have chanced his arm at anything, you know what I mean? And back in the 80s, it was everybody did their own bits around the house, you know what I mean? You wouldn't think of getting, this was major construction, you'd build your own extension even, you see some absolute, we're knocking them at the moment, they're shocking. But like nowadays, it's gone to the stage where people, they've spent an awful lot on their houses. The house prices are so expensive. They're so afraid to make that mistake, and just even drill a hole in the wall. The fear is there that, you know what I mean, I'm going to hundreds of thousands spent on this house, and I'm going to put a hole in the wall now. But when you realise that how easy it is to do that stuff, your house can evolve over time. You can move stuff around, and because if you don't have these skills, when you move in, the only thing you might do is paint. The picture that's hanging there is going to stay there for the next 15, 20 years till you renovate the place. So when you know how to move stuff around, you can change the whole orientation, the whole energy of a room by just moving photos, So that's one of the first things we learn on the courses, is just how to attach stuff properly to a wall. And once you know that, it kind of just, as you go through the course, it's just light bulb moment. It opens up their mind to different areas. So if you know what products to use, the products we have now are unbelievable. So they make life an awful lot easier. I'd love to say this is a gift or a skill that few of us have, but it's not. It's known to use the right stuff, and that's where it all comes in. And people see, I can just buy that off the shelf, and that'll do that for me. That makes a big difference for people knowing that stuff is there.
Yeah, tell me more about what products you're kind of touching on there.
So the likes of the right screws to use, the right rod plugs, the type of wall you're dealing with. That's what we call like the fixings we call them. You know what I mean? So knowing how to attach. A lot of DIY is knowing how to attach one material to another. And like you think there's when you go into these shops, you see shelves and shelves of all these things, and it can be overwhelming. But like there's only a few different things you need. So we kind of break it down, simplify it. Say, look at there's loads of ways to do this project you're at. But when you break it down, because here is the easiest, simplest way to do it. And you can look at just you need this, this, and this, and that's as easy as it is. And the thing is too is a lot of people are on YouTube now and they're watching these videos and saying, "Oh, I'd love to be able to do that. Wouldn't that be great?" This kind of stuff. But now they can look at the video and kind of go, "I know how they did that," you know, and then they can actually go and do the stuff that they're watching. So it's fantastic.
What would you recommend as like even myself as a drill for people to most certainly get? Because or is that one of the first tools you would recommend to anybody to get into their arsenal or their toolbox?
Yeah, most definitely is a drill. There's and the price of tools has come down massively. There's really good crowds after coming in recently that have brought the whole the price of everything back, which is great. But you would need a drill essentially. You know what I mean? If you want to have a go at this, a drill is so versatile. It can do so much for you. So it's important to get a half decent drill. And even if you have one already, happy days. But there's different ones I recommend. There's a new crowd there. I and Hella find them very good, and like you're looking at about €80 for a really good drill, a hammer action drill, which isn't that bad if it's when you realize. When you know how to use it, it seems like for nothing. You know what I mean? But if you don't know how to use it, you're kind of going, I'm just throwing away 80 quid here. But like if you know how to use a drill, so we show that's the first thing we do is the drills, show them how to use it, take that fear out. When people are afraid of drills, you'd be doing well to hurt yourself with a drill, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's a very simple tool. It's just a motor inside a casing, and it just spins something around the circle. That's all it does. And you just know once you put something into it, that's when it becomes useful. So that's the first thing. Genuinely, the first lesson we cover when we do the course is drills. And when you take that fear out of it, they kind of go, okay, that does an awful lot of stuff. It doesn't just drill a hole in the wall. It does this, this, and this. And that's what we're doing the whole time. Just break down, show them the simplest way to do stuff. And you don't need to know every single way of doing it.
Yeah, and even I suppose when we did that course up in the likes of I'm going to say Galway, up at Kylemore,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kylemore, yeah, a cheese farm, yeah, that
jeez,
was
oh my
class.
God, absolutely amazing. But like countersinking different things and using different drill bits and having literally it done firsthand. So literally people are doing it. So then they can go home. And as a result of that, there was that WhatsApp group that was opened, which kind of creates a
Yeah,
bit of crack in itself and as well. And there was one individual that I never forget that I still actually talk about in my own grow your own courses now. Put in 2 spuds into a bucket. They got 32 spuds back.
yeah, Mary Muldoon. You
Very
can't
well.
beat her.
Major shout out. You were getting mentioned on podcasts. Down in the Cork Mallow show, I think in Kilkenny
Yeah.
talking about you, and in Dublin.
And she's brilliant. You see all the beds she's made and everything since. She's unbelievable, and it just goes to show because when you know the few bits and have a go at it, and a lot of it is like when you come to the likes of even like to your workshops and say there's no point coming to them and going home and saying, "Jeez, that was great information." Go home and have a go at it. You know what I mean? Because it's the only way you get really, really good at this kind of stuff when you have a crack at it. You know what I mean? And really quickly as well. It's not like a 4-year apprenticeship you need. We're doing DIY. You know what I mean? We're not roofing houses here. You know what I mean? It's small stuff, and when you break it down, nice and easy, it just takes that fear out. That's what we're trying to do the whole time.
I know you do a little bit of work with schools and stuff like that. I've seen you on social media making a couple of different things, and even before that, there was a big one that you did with a local hardware store as well.
Yeah, so if you it's to be honest, the whole thing has kind of gone in directions that we were never expected. It's we thought, we just kind of said, well, look, we just wanted to teach men how to do DIY. That was the initial intention behind it, and it's just kind of growing legs in all different directions. So we're just kind of going with it, wherever it takes us, and it's been fantastic, to be honest. We were in national schools there, we're teaching TY students because it's a totally different subject to what's been taught. You have woodwork, you have construction. This is really an in between, like working with plasterboard. It's simple stuff that everybody needs. Whereas like a young lad that's going off to be an accountant doesn't really need to know woodwork or doesn't need to know construction. Whereas DIY and stuff around the house is something that they'll find very very handy to know. But yeah, we just then we've been doing work with the Irish Wheelchair Association, with TUSLA, with young lads that have left school, just to kind of get them set up for apprenticeships. National school there recently, and it's just, yeah, the shops as well. So it's gone a lot different. But that's the way I kind of view things: is look at, go with the flow kind of thing and see where it takes you. And look at, if something is going a direction you don't want, it's very easy to pull it back and learn from it.
I was lucky enough to get Martin for the hour here for the podcast by the looks of things. So busy. What do you see, I suppose, people's maybe biggest mental block in starting maybe to do a DIY? Either whether it's to drill a hole, or to, I'm going to say, hang a picture or fix up a table or anything like that, or even the ones on the presses that a lot of people often just literally leave because they couldn't be bothered fixing them and it's hanging off the door now practically.
Yeah, it's pure fear. It's a pure fear, and people, when they have a go at it and back themselves, it's very, very simple stuff. It's not a gift. It's not something you're born with. You're not good or bad at this. You know what I mean? If you learn it, it's very, very simple, and if you're taught the right way, and it's the same. And people, it just comes down to fear and this thing of Jesus, I haven't done this before. I'm no good at this. Well, sure, of course you're no good at it. You've never learned. You know what I mean? So it's the same with growing. Like, what I mean, I would have said the same. Like, you know what I mean? Jesus, I kill everything I grow. You know what I mean? But when you kind of learn how to do it, I've been to a few year courses now. So look, it's something that you learn. You know what I mean? You're not good or bad at something until you learn it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I encourage people to say, look, we're not expecting you to be good at this before you start. It's a course. You're here to learn, so we keep it nice and simple for them, and it's the light bulb moments through the day and through the weeks when we're doing the courses are amazing. People are kind of going, Joe, you see the WhatsApp groups there, like, like, Jesus, look what I did this, you know what I mean, and I did that, this year, and pictures, and then it gets other people in the group going as well. So we're kind of creating a community where everybody's learning together, and everybody kind of going, you know what, well, geez, Mary's doing this, I better do something, and once you get started, if you don't get started, if you sit there and wait, thinking, geez, I need to get a drill, I need to get a jigsaw, I need to get all this stuff before I start. But look, if you have a paintbrush, go paint a wall. You know what I mean? Get the ball rolling. It's all DIY, and get started at it. And once you get started, I'm telling you, you get really good really quickly at it. And like, you're fairly handy at that stuff anyway. I see you there doing a few bits, showing off the drill there when you're in the courses. But
would you believe I'm not as handy as I like to be? And I'll even tell you the truth, there's a little fear. I wouldn't be mad keen on, geez, I wouldn't even know what wall that is. Doing the hole in that wall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fear of, and I'll tell you my own experience of, if there's someone to, I'm going to say, offer up, Colin, would you be able to hang that mirror on my wall? I'd say, Jesus, you know what? I wouldn't know exactly what wall plug, I wouldn't know what drill bit to use. Yeah. And that's firstly because I don't actually own a drill. I've used it on several different jobs. I've worked on building sites as a labourer, and I in Australia worked on a building site for a long time, and as a result of that, picked up a lot of tricks. But again, as I only did one specific job and stayed away from others, and that's, I suppose, just because you don't know something unless you know it.
Yeah, and that's we kind of we break it down. Like, we start from the start. We're doing the course, the workshop are pretty similar. So the first things first is the drill. Show them how to use the drill, the functions of it, and then we're straight into walls, showing there's two types of walls. You've a block wall and how to attach to a block wall, and then how to attach to a stud wall. Okay, so once you know them, and like if you think like, Jesus, that's an awful lot. It's not. It's like 4 or 5 products. You know what I mean? And once you have that information, there's only one product to attach to a block wall. Most of our walls here in Ireland are block. And then when you're there in the States at the moment, so in behind that wall you're tapping there, it's a stud wall. So them studs are 40 centimeters from center to center all over the world. So like, no matter where you go, these few measurements, there's like 5 different things you need to know, and that gets you all the way, no matter where you go. You know what I mean? Well, America's 16 inches, so they do a period, but it's the same measurement. Yeah, they have to be awkward.
But Yanks, by they haven't a clue.
Unreal. They can't just play ball like.
No. That's gas. Yeah, but to even tell people, like, sometimes even the words can confuse people. Stud is a length of timber, and then as a result of that, the plasterboard is stuck to the back of that. So again, we have to break it down, whether we're talking about seeds or we're talking about nutrition. We break it down. Studs are lengths of timber that go down left and right, and there's a slab put up against that. And what's the slab? Even fill me in. What's the slab screwed into the?
So the plasterboard. That's just so that. Yeah, so that's so because they're 40 centimeters apart, each slab is 120 centimeters. So you have one, two, three, four. It just covers over your wall, and we show people how to find them studs. And then if you can't find one, there's only a few little handy tips, and once you know them, you kind of go, geez, that opens up a whole avenue of different stuff I can do now. You know once you know how to attach to them two walls, it brings shelving into it, brings hanging pictures, all this kind of stuff. And that's the main thing I get asked. Oh, geez, I'd love to be even just be able to hang a picture. And you kind of go, we do that in the first hour. They kind of go, Jesus, I'm freaking 40 years, kind of waiting to hang a picture and trying to get people. And that's the problem, to get someone to come around to do it. You can't get them, because like it's number one, it's like most tradesmen are, it's a busy day on a building site. You're there at 8 o'clock, you're finished at 5:30, and then pack up the tools again and go hang a few pictures. You're like, oh, jeez, I
You
can't
wouldn't
face
hate
it.
them, Martin. Just like for
No,
people, yeah.
no,
Same thing with a handy, maybe a plumbing job or any DIY or anything for that matter.
yeah.
Small little job, come here, drill a hole, and you charge them 100
I
bucks,
know,
and then they'll go,
it's
what?
usually for a friend as well. Like, and you
Oh,
can't
of
charge
course.
them. They kind of go, oh, Jesus, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But but then small jobs are so doable for ourselves. And look, I get it. I get the fear. Like when it comes to plumbing, electrical, I feel that bit of fear. You know what I mean? So I have to go into the shops and ask the question. And that's the main thing, is getting into these places and asking the lads behind the counter. You don't have to go in and specifically say, oh, I need a 7x2 by blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So you can just say, look, I'm doing such a project. What do you recommend? These guys have sales reps coming into them the whole time, giving them, can give you 10 different ways of doing that project for you. So make sure and just get that fear out of it. Like, I know, avoid the early mornings when the white vans are outside and all our crowd are in there, because the ego is massive with the tradesmen. So we'd be shoving our way through. But like, if you go in there during the day and have a chat and develop that relationship with your local builders providers, it's a really cool place to even tip around and just see what's in it. Once you know what these things do, it's like a brand new shop for you. You've been there the whole time.
Oh my God. Tell me, I suppose, a little bit more about any projects that you do in your courses that people would like to gain advantage of, whether it's hanging picture or anything else like that, Mark.
Yeah, so the 6-week course, I suppose, we do the first 3 weeks are all household DIY. So it's all stuff that's in your house. So how to hang pictures, how to shelving, how to adjust doors, kitchens, all the stuff that's in our house. So each week we can go home and implement that stuff straight away. So then in the second part of it, as I said, I'm a carpenter since I left school. So I move into the carpentry side of things. So we make cool stuff like window boxes, birdhouses, planters, lovely planters. We donate the planters then to different towns around the place for the tidy towns, which is going on at the moment. And yeah, look, it's all good stuff. And the amount of time that we make stuff, and I took it for granted. I thought people make stuff all the time. Like the amount of people said to me during the course, I've never actually made anything in my life. I was kind of going, Jesus, you'd be surprised. I've learned an awful lot doing the course as well about people, you know what I mean? This about fear, and you know what I mean? People that don't actually make things, and it's such a buzz for them to just make, let's say a little shelving unit. And we do that in week 4, and just kind of going, Jesus, that's, they're blown away by what they've done, and the simplicity of it, you kind of break it down and just show them how it's done. We do it really step by step when we're teaching it. So there's not like, go over there, there's a few bits of timber, make a shelving unit and go back to it. It's like we'll be really doing it all together, and the whole thing, it's not me up there preaching to everyone what we're at. Like, it's very interactive. Everyone's kind of doing the task. Everybody does every single task that we do, so everybody is gets that feeling. They go up there and talk about a drill for hours, and it'll have no impact. Do you know what I mean? Unless you have the drill in your hand and you feel the sensation, pressure you have to put on it, all these small little things. That's what kind of where you learn. Like after an hour of just passing back and forth drill, changing out bits, you learn 10 times more than if I talked about it for 10 hours. So it's all about it's very practical what we do, and everybody's kind of getting really hands-on, and the crack is mighty. As I said, look, we set it up for men, but to be honest, it's been mainly women that have been coming to the courses, and they're sick of waiting for us to do the jobs, I'd say. But the crack has been mighty, because in fairness to the women, like they let their guard down very quickly, and like whereas the lads, it could have been the first hour that the arms folded and yeah, sure, I suppose we feel like we should know this stuff, but it is something that we're moving away from. That lads should know this stuff, and we should. It's DIY. It's not a trade. You know what I mean? Just knowing to do stuff in your own house is very empowering.
Yeah, I suppose it's that realization that it's a life skill that we're not. It's not really taught in schools as a yet until you're going in more and more.
No.
And school in itself, the whole learning structure, education system probably should be altered so that it's more hands-on, because that's another way of learning. Being a dyslexic myself, I learn by doing. People could lecture to me all day, I could make notes, but the thing is, I have to physically either do it or see someone doing it that I copy and emulate straight away after.
Yeah, yeah, and it's incredible to be honest. The men that do the course are there are certain they're professional men, like we say, IT guys, dentists, doctors, people that it's so far away from what they do in their normal day to day that they kind of go, look at this is actually I could actually do with this. You know what I mean? Very handy for me to know this. Whereas some lads, I think they're have to let that guard down another small. But look at everyone who's all the lads that have come along have been brilliant, I have to say. But it's been 90% women that have been coming along, and they're absolutely brilliant. Every single one of them have no bother doing it. Even I was in a national school there on Friday, and we had 4 lads and 3 girls. The girls were unbelievable. They were just, the lads were kind of a bit too cool for school, and for the first hour. But like once we got going, they were flying it. But the girls were straight into it, were well able to do this stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, and as you said, life skills that more and more people should be learning as a result of that. Martin, tell me, I suppose, a little bit more about your social media and where people can get in contact with you in relation to getting in touch with you.
Yeah, so we've the DIY Academy on Instagram and Facebook there, so you can jump on there. We'll be want to get onto TikTok and all that stuff down the line. You know what I mean? I'm not as young as Coleman. I need to catch up with these kind of stuff. But it's definitely something that could lend itself to. I don't even have a TikTok account, but I must get it on there as well. But at the moment, it's Instagram and Facebook. You can see us on there, so you see all our workshops. And then we have the DIYacademy.ie is our website. So everything we were updating that the whole time for different workshops that are going on around the place. And then we have an online course. Then we're just redeveloping at the moment. We have one on there at the moment, but we're actually shooting it on Wednesday this week. So redoing it again, just making it a bit better, a bit more interactive, and have a platform where people can go to. And it was a bit amateurish, to be honest. The one we did, we kind of just want to get it done, and it was great. Everyone loved it, in fairness, but we want to kind of upgrade it now and make it a bit better for everybody to make the experience a bit better, that they can just go back into it, have a place to go, and everything is there for them, kind of thing. So, yeah, look at it. As I said, it's grown legs in all different directions. So we're just kind of staying with it, and it's been fun, I have to say.
Yeah, and that's it. Because Martin, you make it fun, realistically, and that's why people would say, "Oh, Coleman and Martin, when we did that DIY, Jesus, I must definitely do the next one of them." Why? Because it's not a lecture. Nobody likes being lectured to. No one likes to have to take notes. No one really likes school. If you did, I don't know what's wrong with you. The point is,
Yeah, same. I remember I geography. I did. It was one teacher there. He's a great, lovely man. Now I have to say, but Jesus, it was notes upon notes upon notes. Not as much as a paragraph to read them after I wrote them down. It's just like, oh my god, it's just not the way my head works. So I prefer just kind of do it practically, and that seems to be the way for the likes of what we do. It's grand to talk about growing and so on and so like that, but you have to kind of do it to remember it. So I think what we do, it's important to kind of get into a workshop environment and get in front of people and look at the crack we have is savage, in fairness.
what would you say to people that are maybe a little bit afraid, maybe about starting and or anything DIY in the house? What would you pass on to them?
Well, look at don't be look at it's not that you're not good at DIY. It's not that it's not something that you're good or bad at. It's a learned skill. I keep saying it, and like we have hundreds of people taught at this stage, and not one has come out with saying, Jesus, what were you on about there? You know what I mean? Like, I can't do any of this. It's very simple stuff. We break it down nice and easy, and just show them. The sequence in which we teach it is very important as well. And so it's very important for them to kind of go through the phases of it. And like within a day, like we do our day workshops there, and what they learn in a day is incredible compared to coming in. They're coming in like kind of going, "Jeez, I'd love to be able to hang a picture." After an hour, like they're adjusting, at the end of the day, they're adjusting doors, fixing their kitchens, all this kind of stuff, because it's all, when you go into DIY and construction, the same things keep coming up over and over again, the same measurements, the same, and you go into the back of builders providers, all this stuff is all the same sizes. And after about an hour or two, you can realize, hold on a minute, that's the same screw again. So there's 3 different types of screws we use. all these sheets are the same size, all these lengths of timber are the same size, and like that's because like in construction everything is designed very cleverly to make it work for us. You know what I mean? So it'll make no sense if there was, and everything is square, everything is level. So as long as you keep these few principles in mind, you kind of after a while it kind of just clicks. You kind of go, oh yeah, sure, that's I say so later on in the day when I do the workshops, I just kind of throw a few questions at them, and like they're answering them straight away. They're like, "Ah, sure, 40 centimeters, yeah," you know what I mean? And it's like as if they knew it the whole time. You kind of going, you didn't know that at 9 o'clock this morning, but
Of course, I
but it
know
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like no tradesman will ever tell you that it's simple stuff, but it really is, to be honest. It's there's no we're not brain surgeons building these houses, but it's really cool to know. And like that's the main thing. We were there the other night in Galway, and we did just 2 or 3 ladies come in, and they'd shared the WhatsApp group already. The little project one put a shelf in her wardrobe, which might seem like, geez, that's so what. She was absolutely beaming. She couldn't believe it. She was like, I just got the brackets and attached them to the thing, and I'm like, yes, they're unreal. So she's like, yeah. And next thing, another girl come in, and I fixed the shadows on them. You know what I mean? And but it's all the same principles. Knowing how to use a drill is a massive part of it. So it is a sequence in which we teach it, and yeah, look, I'm loving it, to be honest. Construction I liked as well, but it's hard going. This is way right up my alley, especially at my age as well. And I get any younger coming.
But you see, the key thing is, man, you're a people's person. Do you know what I mean? And that's very important when you're trying to pass on information, because again, we kind of keep drilling the schools, but you can get into education and be someone who actually can pass on the information that's needed to learn the skill, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I've been told I'm fairly patient with it too. Like, what I mean, and not blowing my own trumpet here, but I do feel like I can connect with people, and I do like meeting new people. It's not I don't suffer with any kind of anxiety like that, thankfully. So I do love meeting new people, and doing this now really excites me. Kind of going into a new course, kind of going like they're coming in the door all nervous and just kind of going, oh Jesus, what's this now? And like I know well when they leave, they're going to be kind of going, shit, that was savage. You know what I mean? I can't believe. That's not underwhelmed by how simple it is, but just knowing, look at it, I know these things now. You know what I mean? And they're there for life. I don't have to be calling people in to do all these small little things that are just wrecking my head. But yeah, look, it is very enjoyable stuff, and you see it yourself there. You know what I mean? Even when I'm listening to you talking in the workshops, and kind of going, Jesus Christ, you're probably going, you didn't know that.
Oh, sure. People don't know the simplest thing, but the simplest thing
Oh, I know, yeah.
is not simple. Yeah,
yeah, I'd be the same. Like I've mates there, they're IT guys, and I'd be asking them questions, and they think I'm taking the piss. Like, they kind of going, is that a serious question? Like, I'm like, yeah. How do you save that file onto this thing? I just don't. You know what I mean?
yeah, you don't
So
know.
yeah, people have their stuff they're good at, and people don't. But like, this is something that I love teaching people. You know what I mean? It's when you see the reaction they get out, they're delighted with themselves, and that's the main thing. And it's more, as I keep saying to them, it's not a skill. It's more a confidence thing. You know what I mean? So the more confidence you get, you know what I mean, the easier this gets. You know what I mean? It's not there. It's a skill. With the products we have, they're so good. Skill is a smaller part of it. More, it gets big, smaller and smaller. It just comes to confidence. So as I say, look, you don't need the drills or the jigsaws, the chop saws. Paintbrush, go in there and do a good paint that room. You know what I mean? Go hang that picture that you've been looking at, and then that'll build you on to the next one, and next one, and next one, and it's all about confidence.
How did you first get into it, Martin? Did you say during lockdown, this is what I want to do now? Was it just a simple switch, or was it something you planning for a long time?
Yeah, it's something because the thing is, what the longer term project is the carpentry apprenticeship, essentially, because the carpentry is massive. You know what I mean? There's so many different areas in it, and like there's only one apprenticeship. You know what I mean? So, but you can be doing form work, which is like shuttering, first fixing, second fixing, kitchens, joinery. They're all totally different trades. So you could spend 4 years in a joinery, and you're a qualified carpenter, which makes no sense because you can't roof a house. So the longer term vision is to hopefully split that up and give everybody a chance to kind of work in each area. And once you have them all kind of, but when you have it all kind of put into place, like, we're a long way from this now, but just to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of do each area of it, because it all benefits each other, you know. But in doing that, we said first things first is the DIY, and that's where we are at the moment. So yeah, it's been great. Look, I probably won't even get to the rest of it. This is so busy.
Here, fill me in right on any of the before I leave you go. Any of the courses you have coming up in the very near future, so people can either touch base with you with your social media handles.
Yeah, so we'll be working, let's say, a good bit with home value hardware. So it could be anywhere going forward. We're doing full day workshops. We won actually this weekend in Kilcool in County Wicklow. So anyone who's up there, it's a ladies only one as well. So we've been up there a couple of times recently. They have a perfect facility for it. It's where they built it for us. They have a showroom out the front, and it's perfect. We've lunch and all is included, so it's a brilliant day out. And you've a beginner and intermediate course, so you can start there at 9:30 in the morning, and you can finish it at 2 o'clock at the beginner, and then there's an option of staying on for another few hours, do the intermediate, where you learn loads more stuff. So it's that's well worth coming to, especially in that location. But look, we'll be getting around the place over the summer. But that's the one at the moment. The online course will be launching again pretty soon. So once you shoot everything again, we'll be putting it all together. And yeah, look, it's just keep an eye on the pages, see stuff going on all over the place. But make sure and don't think that, like, Jesus, would it be great to be good at that now? That's not, you know what I mean? It's simple stuff. You know what I mean? Come along, don't even think about it twice, and just get signed up. Like, it's for the beginner course, it's €100, and for the both, it's 135 at the moment, which is for nothing. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get a call out to the house for that.
No,
So
that's
come
very
along.
true. Very, very true. And
You wouldn't, I'm telling you.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't get a picture home for that. So like, if you get to Wicklow at the weekend, I think there's 3 or 4 spots to the left. So get up to that one, because it's a super location. We have anything that's booked in now. We want to get down around Waterford, obviously, because but you use your influence down that way. but yeah, like, it looks like we'll be working with you kind of touched on earlier with home value hardware. So we're working in different shops around the country with them, I'd say, doing workshops. So yeah, look at keep an eye on it. But if you can make it Saturday, that'd be great.
Yeah, perfect job, Martin. Most certainly, thanks for giving me the hour of your time before and after this podcast. And if anyone most certainly wants to check out his pages, it'll be tagged in the show notes. That's the DIY Academy. And I always end these podcasts by saying, stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.